Hello, welcome to another tonal landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting I'm bringing you today is called The Winding Path, 8 by 10. Painted this last week. I'm real happy with it. We did it on some hardboard that was prepped with a couple coats of house paint. Yeah, that's tinted to a nice color you can see right there. It's called Deep Earth. And the thing with the 8 by 10 is like I got a lot of frames, but okay, this is a horizontal 8 by 10, and that can be very, very challenging proportion, my friend. And let me tell you, not for verticals. For verticals, that's why it's so popular. That's why you can find frames everywhere in 8 by 10, because for a vertical orientation, it's perfect to have a person in there, a portrait. Also great for vertical landscapes. Quite the challenge, more so for the horizontal, and let me tell you why. Because back when I first came out to this place I live, first of all, it's kind of economically down here, you know. And once that became apparent to me, I'm like, oh, I better just work in small sizes so I can sell things. And I came up with this idea. Also, I didn't really like working in plein air, so I thought, well, I'll do a little study. I'll do a little 5 by 7, and then I'll make a slightly larger painting, an 8 by 10 or an 8 by 8. And one of the ideas, so I was doing that, and a lot of those 5 by 7s come out better. Now, none of this is on the channel. This predates the channel. It's sort of, there are a few, but actually, if you go to my website and look at my old blogs, you'll see quite a lot of paintings I did from that time, because I was blogging. But you also see a lot of revisions. And let me tell you one of the real incorrect ideas I had, which was that I could just size things to look good for the 5 by 7. And when it comes to the 8 by 10, I could just add extra sky above the trees. Now, you probably heard me touch on that lots of times. But I have to say that that's a really bad plan. The space that you have between a top of a tree and the edge of the board, the amount of sky there is a really, really critical decision. You can't just randomly add extra space there. And I did a lot of that before I became wise to it, before I could actually have eyes to see it. And that's really why, I'm always stressing you gotta paint, you gotta get experience to get good. All right, you see things go a little matte and dull there. That's because I did the underpainting one day, and I came in the next day, and just the way the board was prepped or whatever, things went a little matte. But we'll be covering it up, and that's a great approach. I think sometimes maybe you only got 15, 20 minutes. Just get yourself a little underpainting done. Leave that in your dedicated workspace. If you've been following the easel talks, you know I've been hitting you on that. And what I mean is that you should have a space in your home that's just for your painting. You got your easel there, you got your paints there. I've had a lot of students come back and say, oh, I don't have any space. And I say, you do too. Come on. You got a seat at the kitchen table even that no one's sitting at usually. That could be your dedicated painting space and what have you. That's good because when you sit there, all you'll do is paint. You don't mess with your phone. You don't mess with your computer. You just paint. And what happens eventually when you sit there, all you will do is paint. And it's very powerful, like self-programming tips ahoy from your friend M. Francis McCarthy. Yeah, friend and a fellow painter. Now, going in with the sky here, I wanted to bring in some purpley tones into those grays. So I used a little bit of that diox. It's one of the reasons it's on my palette. I'm going to point out here that there was, actually, there is no color mixing session on this one. It crashed and burned. Sorry. But you notice we don't have a palette on this one. That's something I'm going to do once in a while because I really enjoy it. But it adds a lot of work, my friends, a lot. Yeah, I got to kind of back off from that because I'm a one-man band. Oh, the other thing, couple things I want to get into as well. We'll get back into the painting in a minute here as you're enjoying watching me put this together. The gallery is back up on my site, and it's way better than it used to be. I've got a little proper staging area for each scene. I did have ambitions of doing a little video But again, I'm just too strapped time wise. But you got a little space around the painted image. The prices are very reasonable. And you can take advantage of the fact that if you're in the U.S., you're getting things at a discount, basically, because the trade differential is pretty extreme right now. Yeah. Anywho, check that out. There'll be a link underneath the video. Also, I'm going to point out that this is going into the members area, as they always do, 4K, no ads. But I am also going to be releasing it on Wednesday. That's my Wednesday. And as a 1080 live. There'll be a couple ads in that, but let's face it, YouTube loves their ads anyway. So you just hit that old mute, and it'll be there. And I totally apologize to members. I've screwed up the last couple weeks, and I don't. It's again, I'm getting stretched pretty thin. Um, no complaints, because what I do is for love. But uh, I screwed up, and I accidentally posted the members area video to the public area twice, 2 times in a row. But it's kind of, I think, fate or kismet or whatever you want to call it, because I could see, well, there's just a lot of people that really want to see this content, and I want to open it up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up something with Ko-Fi. There'll be a link under this video, and then I think I'm going to make one of those little things that pops up while you're watching the video. That just says you could make me a little donation there, and the lowest donation is going to be like $3. So if you find you're in the middle of one of those live painting videos, and you go, "Wow, this is amazing! I really want to help Mike out." There you go. You'll have your opportunity. Yeah, with Ko-Fi. That's the one I ended up going with. Yes, I know there's other options, and a great way to support me is the members area on YouTube here. I'm going to keep the Substack Studio Pass going, and of course, another great way to support me is my book. I ship books all over the planet, and I have a good inventory here. I'll be happy to send it to you right now today. And that's $65 US. That's 13 years of painting information all in one spot, a real physical book. And let's face it, man, that's where it's at. That's the information that's going to survive, by the way. We don't know if any of this cool internet stuff is going to make it, to be honest. It feels like it's permanent, but I don't know if you've ever had a hard drive fail on you. I have. And it's all like it never existed at all. So books are great, and books are, especially for learning, the books are great because you can open up the book, have it there in your work area, just kind of have it on the coffee table and look through it and learn at your own pace. And they're not dead. They're not dead. I'm working on a new one, and I won't talk too much about that because I've been burbling on about a bunch of other stuff. So, challenging this sky. One of the challenges was the sky, was the grays. I wanted them warm, but and that's kind of, I went into purpley reddish tones, but I didn't want it too cherry red. They had to be tones that all worked with the orange, and there's a lot of orange humming through this entire painting. It definitely influenced all of the color decisions that I made when mixing the various greens. And you can see right now we just put in the darks. I'm always working the same way, my friends. We got the sky. We have the underpainting, which kind of sets things up. We know basically where things are going to be. Composition's worked out, some rough idea of the values. Then we put in the sky, and then it's easy to put in the sky because you know where the trees are going to be. And that's where I actually really get in and actually decide where the actual edges are. I think I said actually 3 times. That's where I really end up defining those tree shapes more formally. And then we were doing the darks. You just saw that. And you just saw me coming with my dark green, which is kind of coming out of the dark. And look how warm that is. That's reflecting that decision I made to carry through a lot of orange almost through everything in this painting. And there's only that one spot in the sky that goes to actual orange. I do have a situation where we got these grasses. I'm going to do highlights on the grasses, the ones closer to us. But it was very important to me to have that distant meadow. Remind me too in a minute. I want to talk about the path since that's the primary thing in the title here. But that distant meadow, I want to have it nice and bright. That's kind of a little destination. And there was a heck of a lot of simplification that went on from the reference image, which, you get to have a gander at Wednesday there, or like I say, you can have a look at it right now in the members area. And normally, too, I'm doing like these color mixing sessions, which my camera died, but we took care of that. Anyway, that's all designed. That distant, these distant hills you see me painting now, the little meadow. It's quite simple, way simpler than the reference, and also the way that the programs I worked with kind of set up that path in my reference. It winds and winds and winds, and I just don't like that. It's kind of difficult to figure out how you're going to end something like that, but my thinking is that it just went over a little hill there, and that's it. We don't know what happened. Went behind the trees. I did try, and if you noticed in the underpainting several times, I tried twisting it the other way, and I always will, and that's why that underpainting stage is really good, because that's a place you can experiment with that stuff and make your decisions without having a bunch of paint on the board. Now that was the other thing I was to talk about. So we're going to be painting that distant field, and it's going to be bright. And I had to make a decision: it's going to be brighter over there where we have the light bit of the sky, or brighter over on the other, which would have been real dynamic. But I ended up deciding to make it brighter over by the tree that's on our right. Okay, and the reason is I think there's a bit of a tension coming from the road pointing that other way. There's a bit of balance coming in with this tree mass on the left. And there's enough weight there that it supports having the bright in the meadow over there. That's a natural place to put it. Also, clearly we're getting a bit more light on that side of the sky too, so that just makes logical sense. So getting to the thing I wanted to bring up, you see me actually painting these grasses in the foreground now, and that was a bit of a challenge. I'll tell you why. I mean, really, because the reference wasn't helping me much. It was a bunch of nothing. I have techniques for dealing with that. And again, point out, I'm not talking about it real time. The video is headed your way Wednesday. Yeah, so check that out. I won't get too much into that. Why spoil it, eh? Okay, yeah, horizons. Make sure they're straight. You don't want them crooked. You can have, sometimes you can do crooked things, but not generally with a distant horizon like this. And I passed this on in a recent video. When I do that real lighted bit down in the distance, I learned that from Dennis Sheehan, and I'm always going to give him props for that. And I was in Dennis Sheehan's academy back in 2012. And I did some good paintings back then. But I do a lot more now. And I certainly wasn't able to do the video thing back then. Maybe I could have. I just kind of got into that. But I think it was real important to see I'm laying in those grasses in the foreground. And what I didn't want is to have the highlights on those. First of all, I didn't think they should be the same color as the distant bit. I had contemplated making that green, like a more limeish green. But then I thought, nah, that'll be a bit distracting. Maybe I could have pulled it off. I don't know. It don't matter because I made the decision I made. But what I didn't want to do is have the highlights in the grass closest to us. And actually, you can see at the pointing and the painting I am now, I've been well holding off before doing a range of highlights in those areas. And because right now it's working, it's not distracting, it's not fighting. But I'm pretty sure I do come in 1 second with another layer of highlights. We're going by, maybe not. Hey. I am doing a little bit more highlights on the tree areas there. Yeah, we're coming in. I don't want to go too bright there. Like I said, it's going to mess with this is the kind of thing you can easily make this sort of mistake, and then your painting might still be successful. You might sell it. Your family might love it, but you'll know you could have held back a little and had a more successful painting, and I'm glad I held off. Anyway, till I come back with another video for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor, do us all, take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Check out that Ko-Fi link. buy the book, and please click like if you got this far. It really helps the channel a lot, because we all know it's the new TV here, right? And if you liked it, give it a like, and that lets the algorithm know what's up. Till we come back with another video for your edification and enjoyment. Do me a favor, do me solid, take good care, stay out of trouble, and fight the power.
Did you know